Donald Trump stood next to Kid Rock during a disastrous Oval Office press conference when he suddenly started rambling about someone calling him kind. He seemed genuinely baffled by the word, saying, "That's such an interesting word, the word kind. Has he really never heard the word kind before? Unbelievable." Here, watch this clip.
Mr. President, you met with the chairman.
Somebody said that about me the other day. He said, who doesn't know me very well, they said, "You're such a kind person." And I said, "Say that again." They said, "You're a kind person." I said, "I've never heard that before." It was a weird statement. I was kind.
Who said that?
I've heard of words. I don't know. I better not tell you. You know, I've been called a lot of things, but it's sort of a different kind of a word. It's like an old-fashioned word, isn't it?
Mr. President, you met with
Donald Trump, during a disastrous Oval Office press conference with Kid Rock, bizarrely recounted a moment when someone called him kind. He seemed genuinely confused by the word, saying, "Someone said that about me the other day. He doesn't know me very well. He said, 'You're such a kind person.' And I said, 'Say that again.' He said, 'You're a kind person.' I said, 'I've never heard that before.' It was a weird statement. I was kind. I've heard a lot of words, but not that one. I better not tell you the ones I've heard. You know, I've been called a lot of things, but it's sort of a different kind of word. It's like an old-fashioned word."
And what happens is we made a deal for rare earth. It was all done. And I heard through you, I haven't spoken to them yet, but through you, I heard that they're now saying, well, I'll only do that deal if we get into NATO or something to that effect. Well, that was never, number one, discussed. Number two, I think it's going to be very, long before Putin, they said, you're not going into NATO. And it could be, that's probably the reason the war started, actually.
We're hours away from a very special...
Donald Trump is then asked about the 4 American soldiers who lost their lives in Lithuania. Instead of offering condolences or showing any empathy, he bizarrely describes the situation by comparing their truck to a toy truck. Just listen to this clip.
Mr. President, have you had any updates on the U.S. soldiers missing in Lithuania?
I have.
Can you give us an update?
So 3 are no longer with us, and 1 is unfortunately probably in the same category, but they haven't declared that yet. It was a very heavy truck, like a toy, but I mean really heavy, that lifted the heaviest equipment. And it would seem that the bank of the lake collapsed. You know, the weight is so big. And it was at night, and it was very cold weather, and ice, a lot of ice. And it's possibly slipped, and the weight is so enormous of this thing. It's a massively heavy vehicle. And if they slipped a little bit, it's probably what happened, and it flipped. And 3 are gone, and 1 is missing.
On a separate topic.
How despicable is that? Show some sympathy, show some empathy. These were American soldiers who lost their lives, and Trump casually describes their vehicle as if it were some kind of child's plaything. What is he even talking about? Then, from the Oval Office, Trump shifts to discussing the upcoming Wisconsin Supreme Court race on April 1st. He openly urges people to vote Republican, blatantly using the office of the presidency to campaign for MAGA candidate Brad Schimmel. Watch this clip. This ad.
Well, it's a big race, Supreme Court race in Wisconsin. It's taking place essentially as you know, it was early voting, so we'll see what happens. It's a big race. I love Wisconsin. We won Wisconsin. Republicans typically don't do very well in Wisconsin, but I did. I actually won it twice. I actually probably won it 3 times, to be exact.
We played their song.
Not probably. I won it 3 times. We had a rigged election the second time, but that's, you know, one of those things. We had to make this one too big to rig. Would you agree with that, Brian?
Yes,
too big to rig?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, but yeah, there's a big race, and I hope you get out and vote for the Republican. The woman is a radical left lunatic.
Donald Trump is asked about what's going to happen on April 2nd, which he refers to as Liberation Day, the day he plans to impose tariffs on every country in the world, further wrecking our economy. When asked whether these will be universal tariffs or individual rates by country, Trump's answer: "I don't know. You'll see. You'll see. Yes, really." Here, watch this clip.
Are you going to move ahead with a universal tariff or different individual tariff rates on a whole variety of different...
Well, you're going to see in 2 days, which is maybe tomorrow night or probably Wednesday, you're going to see. And they're reciprocal. So whatever they charge us, we charge them, but we're being nicer than they were.
So just to be clear, he's about to upend global trade, spike consumer prices, and cause economic chaos, but he doesn't even have a plan. Then things somehow get even weirder. Trump is asked about the relationship between Tiger Woods and Don Jr.'s ex-wife, Vanessa, and instead of giving a normal answer, he blames their divorce on the Russia hoax. Yes, you heard that right. Watch this clip. I love this one.
I love this one.
Go ahead.
It's not front page news, but I am just curious. What is your thought about Tiger Woods now becoming part of the broader Trump family?
Well, I love Tiger, and I love Vanessa, and they had a great relationship. I happen to think the relationship with my son, I happen to think the relationship was hurt very badly by the witch hunt that went on, Russia, and all the crap that they put Don through.
By the way, here's Kid Rock again, standing next to Trump at this bizarre Oval Office press conference, dressed in whatever the heck Kid Rock is wearing. In the middle of all this chaos, Trump and Kid Rock start talking about what a great car Tesla is. And then somehow, they actually try to sell Teslas from the Oval Office. Watch this surreal moment.
So you recently bought a Tesla for White House staff to use, but now there's all these domestic terrorists targeting Teslas. Are the staff scared to drive it?
I don't think so. I haven't heard. They were complaining. I did buy one, and I let the staff use it. We have it parked conveniently, and one day we give it to Margot, one day we give it to Chamberlain, give it to Natalie, we give it to everybody around.
As Ana Navarro Cardenas put it, waiting to hear from the people who thought Zelensky disrespected the Oval Office with his choice of clothes. Spoiler alert, you won't hear a word from the hypocritical MAGA Republicans. Then Trump keeps rambling about Tesla, referring to it as just Tesla, repeating it over and over again, at least 3 times, before launching into how badly Elon Musk has been treated. Watch this nonsense for yourself.
He's got, despite the way he's been treated, so he's an American patriot, but the way he's been treated with Tesla is just terrible. It's just terrible. In fact, you have a Tesla. And you love it. You love it. He was saying before he bought a Tesla, he loved it. A lot of people are buying Teslas, I think, and I hope they are. He should not be treated that way. He's done an incredible service to our country.
But once he goes back, is Doge going to keep operating?
Then, out of nowhere, Trump shifts to Dogecoin and asks if it's going to keep operating once Elon Musk steps away.
But once he goes back, is Doge going to keep operating even without Elon here?
Well, I can't tell you that. I can say this, that a lot of the people that are working with Doge are the secretaries, the heads of the various agencies, and they've learned a lot, and they're dealing with the Doge people. I think some of them may try and keep the Doge people with them, but at a certain point, I think it will end, but they have also...
What I'm about to share is yet another bizarre moment from this already chaotic press conference. Donald Trump starts talking about Qatar, or as he says, Qatar, and then goes on a tangent about how he used to pronounce it as Qatar, but now says Qatar. He's genuinely fascinated by his own pronunciation, almost as if it's some major revelation. Play this clip, and then...
So we'll probably stop at UAE and Qatar, and as I used to call it, Qatar. Nobody's ever told me right or wrong. I always like to say Qatar, but it's Qatar. They like to say Qatar. And Saudi Arabia, the 3 of them, and then we'll go other places also. But in the Middle East, those seem to be the 3.
And let's not forget, this is happening while the U.S. economy is spiraling. Economists are warning of a recession, and concerns over stagflation are growing. Yet, instead of addressing these urgent issues, Trump is rambling about how he pronounces Qatar. Unbelievable.